I put emphasis on it.
I'm pretty excited, man. People thought I was delusional a few months ago when I said I think this would be the year that we beat the Chiefs. And again, you can go back and check. I said before the season started that I think this year would be the year that we beat the Chiefs. And as of last night, we just beat the Chiefs. Now that was a really nice game to watch. It started off extremely rough, and I know definitely most Ravens fans were really nervous with how things started off. Like, Lamar threw 2 picks to start the game off, which again, if you watch Ravens games, that's Lamar Jackson does not do that. I think this might have been the first game ever he might have had 2 picks, because again, you very rarely see Lamar Jackson start off a game just that poorly. Contrary to what people are saying about, this whole narrative about he can't throw, you could check the stats, bro. Like he is yet to have a 10 interception season. So it was a little shocking to see that rough start, but at the same time, when you go back and watch the replay, you can see what ended up happening the first time, as far as like Lamar having an issue with Sammy when he tried to go to Sammy, but it slipped. Sammy slipped.
I put emphasis.
But yeah, I still think the team and Lamar bounced back extremely well. Lamar finished extremely well. He finished 18 for 26, for 239 yards passing, and 107 yards rushing. 3 total touchdowns, 1 passing touchdown, and then 2 rushing touchdowns. He completed 69% of his passes. And again, this is a guy who, if you let the mainstream media tell it, this is a guy that they want to tell you he's not accurate. But did you see that jump pass touchdown to Hollywood? Did you see that jump pass touchdown to Hollywood? It is week 2, and that is already going to be one of the 5 best touchdowns of this season for any quarterback. And it was definitely annoying seeing how many people going into this game kept trying to put so much emphasis on Lamar Jackson and say, oh, he's never won against Patrick Mahomes, when if you look at the stats, most quarterbacks have never won against Patrick Mahomes. Baker Mayfield hasn't done it. Baker Mayfield, the Browns were just up double digits against the Chiefs with not much time left last week, and they lost. Josh Allen still hasn't done it. There's a long list of quarterbacks who have still not yet done that. But again, because there's this witch hunt against Lamar, like I've been saying, there's a witch hunt against Lamar Jackson. So it brings them pain to have to see every little narrative that they come up with. He disproves that. They said he's not accurate, but even on a game where he struggled, he completed 69% of his passes. They said he can't come back. He's had multiple games where he has come back. They said, oh, he can't come back from double digits. He came back from double digits. They said he can't beat Patrick Mahomes. He beat Patrick Mahomes. But again, because there is a witch hunt against Lamar Jackson, they're going to still look for a reason. They're still gonna look for a reason to not like him, or a reason to say he's this or he's that, or to try to downplay what he does. Because again, when Lamar Jackson carries this team to a win, which is what he does, like I've been saying, you take Lamar out of all these, if Lord forbid, if you had taken Lamar out of these games, none of these games were gonna be close, bro. The Ravens would get stomped out by every team, no matter who it was. But when he goes out here and carries the team, puts it on his back, he's not given proper credit. They're trying to hand out credit to any and everybody they could think of. When in reality, it's Lamar getting the job done. But as soon as something goes wrong, you want to put everything on his shoulders. They want to put it on his shoulder. They want to bring up his mistakes last week, and he didn't have an amazing game last week, but he had a pretty solid game last weekend. But again, no one wants to bring up the fact that he put them in a position to win, and the defense essentially blew our chances of winning in that fourth quarter by allowing the Raiders to go 40 yards down the field in 30 seconds to get a field goal with no timeouts. But again, it was a good game. Hollywood showed out. He had 6 receptions, 113 yards, and a touchdown. Mark Andrews got a couple catches. Sammy Watkins ended up getting a couple catches. They ran the ball exceptionally well. I think they had like 200 plus rushing yards. I don't remember the exact number, but they had to have over 200 yards. Yeah, so it was an excellent game. I'm so thankful Devin Duvernay recovered that fumble instantly, because early in the game Tyson Williams had fumbled at the goal line, and it just I don't want to say beautifully, but it just perfectly just fell right into Devin Duvernay's hands, and he just went in instead, which I'm glad it worked out that way, obviously, because that would have been a disaster if they had recovered it back. But the Chiefs, the Chiefs would, they didn't have a bad game. They did what they normally do. They for the most part was balling out. But they did make some crucial mistakes. Now, people are going to hold Patrick Mahomes accountable for the crucial mistakes he makes. I doubt it. That interception that he threw was a dumb interception. But again, people are so used to Patrick Mahomes throwing trick shots that they're gonna make excuses for it. They're gonna be like, oh well, if he threw it, it's Patrick. He had a chance. He thought he had the right angle for it. It's like, no, it was a dumb interception. But because of because he did those same exact moves during the Super Bowl, but because during the Super Bowl, because those passes almost were completed, people wanna be in awe of the pass and not acknowledge the fact that it's a very dangerous play. And this time he wasn't so lucky as he was last time. He wasn't so lucky as he was last time. He instead, he got intercepted. That touchdown that Patrick Mahomes threw to Travis Kelce was ridiculous, man. Travis Kelce legit dragged down like 6 defenders, man. He dragged down like 6 defenders. He legit dragged down like 6 different defenders. But yeah, man, it was an amazing game to see. I actually disagree with John Harbaugh and the team trying to go for the 2-point conversions. They went for 2 of them and they failed both times. I think they should have just kicked the field goal both times. And I think the proof of that is the fact that had they kicked the field goal both times, they would have been up there. They would have had 38 points. But I can't blame them for going for it. This is one of those games where it's just like, considering that all the Ravens had going against them, and considering how many people doubted them, this is just one of those games where you just had to go balls to the wall. So I can't even blame them for attempting those 2-point conversions. It's just one of those games. Another thing that people aren't even taking into account when it comes to how impressive this game is the fact that the Ravens have like 20 players that are injured right now. And that's not an exaggeration. There's like somewhere between like 15 and 20 players on the Ravens right now that are injured and that didn't play. So people already doubted you. A good chunk of your team is injured and out for the year. You got off to a bad start, and Lamar still dragged them back to a win. It's amazing. It is really amazing. And that, man, I got to bring up that jump pass touchdown to TD, man. That was beautiful. It was beautiful. And again, you have a lot of critics who they're not going to give Lamar credit for that throw. You know how difficult a throw like that is? You know that throw wasn't planned. Nobody plans for that type of throw. Nobody plans for the pocket to start collapsing and for your quarterback to get just enough space to move forward. And while he was moving forward in this awkward position, he jumps up and throws a 40-yard bomb midair. Nobody can plan for that. Nobody can plan for that. But again, if you let the media tell it, somehow, they're trying to convince people that this guy is they're trying to convince people that this guy isn't a competent quarterback. And that's laughable. It is completely laughable. They're trying to convince people that this guy isn't a competent quarterback, but he's clearly one of the 5 best quarterbacks in the league, and easily the most scrutinized quarterback we've ever seen. And he keeps over-delivering time and time again, and that frustrates them. And that's why I know they're not going to give him credit for that touchdown. They're not going to acknowledge how difficult that touchdown was. Had that been Patrick Mahomes throwing that touchdown, they would have had an orgasm. Guaranteed. They would have been having an orgasm all week long over that touchdown. But for Lamar Jackson, ESPN's not going to show that touchdown. Flat out, ESPN's not going to show that touchdown. Fox, they'll show it, but not for long. They might they'll show it, but they're not going to want to show it too much. Because again, they all are trying to push. They all have that agenda where they're trying to push this. But it just, some companies are trying a lot harder than others to push the narratives that they're trying to push about Lamar Jackson. But that was an excellent game, man. It was like like that touchdown pass, that jump touchdown pass to Hollywood. That's gonna be the type of touchdown. That's gonna be the type of play that I'm gonna look back on in a couple of years, and I'm gonna still say to myself, I remember the moment when that touchdown happened, and I remember going online and watching the highlight of that touchdown like 30 times back to back, and just how impressed I was. Like, that touchdown left me in awe. And that's crazy to say, because Lamar Jackson's the type of player who already does so many things that can leave you in awe. And that touchdown still just had me just like floored, like, that's just crazy. And again, he got the job done. I'm really thankful our offensive line held up, considering how they looked last week, especially Villanueva. I was nervous going into this game. I legit was nervous going into this game. I was just sitting and thinking to myself, man, if he puts up, especially when they said Ronnie Stanley was out, I was like, man, if he puts up a performance like that, bro, I don't know, bro. We might, it might be a bad game as far as sacks, but thankfully it wasn't. There was only 1 sack, and the offensive line, for the most part, held up. They held up a lot better than I expected them to. So, that's definitely, that's really good. The defense, I feel, underperformed overall. Like, I'm just going to be honest, I just think the defense overall underperformed. They came up when it mattered most, and that's what really matters. But again, we're supposed to have a top 10 defense. We're supposed to have like a top 10 defense, maybe even a top 5 defense. That's what we're supposed to have. That's what, the Ravens have spent all this money on defense, and you're not, for all the amount of money they've invested in defense, you really aren't interested in seeing them go out here and put up these performances against Pat Mahomes where the Chiefs are scoring 30 points. You got the Chiefs scoring 30 points against us. Last week you had the Raiders. The Chiefs had 35 points, and then the Raiders last week they dropped 30. There has to be some adjustments made on defense. I understand, several of our players got injured, including Marcus Peters, who was one of our 2 best cornerbacks, and Jimmy Smith, also one of our other best cornerbacks. Like, so, but still, you gotta do better than that, man. Like, this is ridiculous, man. I can't say enough about this game, man. I'm not even gonna edit this video or cut out any like pauses. I'm gonna just upload it straight to YouTube, man. Like, that game had me extremely excited. And I'm one of the people who said this was a must-win for the Ravens, not because of the narrative that, oh, Lamar has to beat Patrick Mahomes. No, just because I just think that if we had started 0-2, we would have been in a really bad spot. We would have been in a really bad spot if we had started 0-2. Not just as far as in the standings, but also like psychologically. Like, this team might have lost a lot of confidence in themselves if they had went down 0-2. They still would have bounced back because the next couple games they have going into the next couple weeks is looking pretty good. I'm expecting them to do well. Like, I'm expecting them to do well, but at the same time, still, you don't want to go down 0-2 because, again, everybody else in the AFC North, they're 1-1 right now. So, and to all the Raiders fans, you're welcome. The Raiders, as it stands right now, because of this Chiefs loss, the Raiders are actually leading their division. They're leading the AFC West, so that's kind of interesting to see. But man, that was an amazing game, man. And I'm so glad that this year we got so many, we got 5 primetime games coming up. Like, people don't, I think a lot of people forget that we got 5 primetime games coming up. And understand, the Ravens, the NFL didn't do that for no reason. The NFL clearly recognizes that Lamar Jackson is box office. They clearly recognize how talented Lamar Jackson is. They clearly recognize just how much he over delivers, and that's exactly why they gave us 5 primetime games. I said this back in the summer. I don't ever remember us having this many primetime games in one season. I don't think that's a coincidence. I don't think that's a coincidence to start the season off. They had us playing Monday Night Football, and the very next week we're playing Sunday Night Football against 2 of the better teams in the AFC. I don't think that's a coincidence, in my personal opinion. Adafe Owe, he's off to a really good start to the season, man. He really is, man. He had the sack last week, and then this week he had the game clinching fumble, essentially. So that was amazing to see. I was really happy to see that 4th down conversion where they went for it and Lamar just straight up ran right through that Chiefs defense. Everybody knew what was coming. It didn't matter. And that further makes everybody look ridiculous who keep spreading this idea that, oh man, the NFL, the league, they figured out Lamar Jackson. It's like, dog, first of all, no, they haven't. But even if you want to say that they did, can they stop him though? You can say that all day long, but at the end of the day, can they stop him? People know what James Harden is going to do. To compare it to basketball, people know what James Harden is going to do. But can people stop James Harden? That's the $1 million question. And the answer is no. Like, James Harden does the exact same moves over and over again, and it's just difficult to stop, flat out. So I'm really excited for that. I'm just really excited for this season. Of course, it just looked amazing, man. And are the doubters gonna stop talking? No. They're gonna tuck their tail between their legs, go hide for a couple of days, downplay this win, and then by maybe Wednesday or Thursday they'll be right back with the new Lamar narrative. That's why I'm happy Lamar already understands that's what it is. He's just shrugging it off and just saying, hey, who cares? You can't pay it no mind. So it was just an excellent game, man. To see that, man. It's such a big moment psychologically to overcome a team that many people are trying to say he's like the Ravens are like the little brother of. It's such a big moment to overcome that. And shout out to all the people, the fake Ravens fans who are in who are in Ravens chat talking about we should trade Lamar Jackson. I can't stand you fake pathetic fans. Lamar Jackson gets off to a rough start, and you idiots are out here saying, yeah, we should get rid of the best player on our team. it's crazy. Saying we should get rid of the best player on our team, the guy who actually has us having a chance at winning these games. We should get rid of him. Yeah, y'all just some fake fans, bro. I just can't respect that. I can't respect that. As delusional as people said I was before this season started, what did I say? I had the videos uploaded on my channel when I predicted the Ravens record this year. I had the videos saying, hey, I think this is the year we're going to beat the Chiefs. And it was looking really scary after that loss to the Raiders, because I'm thinking, dang, if they play like this, we're going to look bad. But I still said, hey, they still have a chance. And they delivered. Man, I wish I would have put money on that game, man. The amount of money you probably would have got betting on the Ravens instead of the Chiefs, man. You probably, man,
emphasis on it.
You probably would have had like plus 300, plus 400 or odds if you would have bet on the Ravens instead of the Chiefs. But again, I'm really excited. I'm really proud to see how that turned out. It's just an excellent game, man. Excellent finish, man. It's not always how you start, it's how you finish. And again, through adversity, through the ups and downs, Lamar Jackson still goes out here and delivers while being in a less than ideal situation. Again, no disrespect to Baker Mayfield, but we gotta call it out. Baker Mayfield has one of the most ideal situations in the NFL. Several elite receivers, and a solid tight end, 2 elite running backs, a solid offensive line, and he still can't beat the Chiefs. And that applies for many of these other quarterbacks. Because again, when you look at Patrick Mahomes' loss record, there's not too many people who could say they beat him. But here we are. Let me know what your thoughts are on this game. Were you guys excited? Let me know how you feel about everything. I'm excited. You see that. Next week we play the Lions. I'm assuming that's going to be an easy win, but I still want them to play with the same intensity, because you don't want to come off a win like that and underestimate your opponent. So let me know what your thoughts are on the game below, and make sure you guys like it and subscribe.